Okay, back on track. So my story is called My First Crime Spree. And as I was preparing this, I was thinking, well, what exactly is a crime? And in the first instance, you might say, well, come on, that's easy. Some official government body passes a law of some kind, and if you break that law, there are repercussions. You could go to jail, and that's a crime. But I didn't find that completely satisfying. I was thinking of a more profound daily meaning of what is a crime, because the legal one, look, there are plenty of good people who just fall into crimes without even knowing they're committing them, and there are monsters that get away with it because it isn't officially on the books a crime. So I came up with a working definition of a crime, which is very simple, that if you know something or if you feel something in your heart is wrong and you do it nonetheless, that's a crime. So with that background, I'd like to confess to you that my life of crime began the summer before I entered kindergarten. I was living in Baltimore, Maryland at the time, near an army base. My dad had just come back from Vietnam, and we were living in this series of garden apartments. And I remember it was summertime, late summer, August, and it was a scorcher of a day. And I went outside, there were all these like little kiddie pools, and a couple of houses down, there was this adorable girl. Blonde hair, blue eyes, just the sweetest, most angelic little creature that you could imagine. Her name, Diane, by the way, was Heidi, so Heidi figures twice this evening. That really was her name. So I go up to Heidi, and Heidi asks, "Can you take this bucket of water and fill it up so I can put my feet in them?" Oh, I was thrilled. My heart was warm. My little blood pressure was beating. Heidi had asked me to fill up water to bring to her feet. So I went, I took the pail, I filled it up. I was standing by Heidi, and I don't know this happened to this day. I can't fully explain it. I took the pail of water and splashed it on her face. Getting back to my definition of a crime, I did know it was wrong. But in that instant, I just did it. And she started crying, and I ran home after I did this terrible thing, and I confessed it immediately to my mother. And she very practically said, well, there's only one thing that you could do. You go back to Heidi and you apologize. Okay, because I'm terrified. So I walk back, and she's sitting outside, and I say, Heidi, I'm sorry. And she goes, that's okay. But can you fill up the bucket again? And I really want to put my feet in the water. Yeah, I'll do it. Thank you for giving me a second chance. So I go over, I put in the water in the bucket, but my young mind starts to I'm coming, Heidi, I'm coming. Only this time, it wasn't just the impulse. I thought about it, I struggled with it, then wah, she bursts out crying, and then she says the word that terrifies a kid in this situation more than anything else in the world. Daddy! So I'm a criminal now, and she's calling her father, and I see that there's this bush behind me, this big bush. So I run and I hide in the middle of the bush. Meanwhile, I hear from outside, "Oh, I don't see anyone. I don't see anyone. Daddy, Daddy, the bush." I make myself smaller. He comes closer. My heart is racing. And then I hear those great words, "No one's here." And they go off. I got away with it. Fast forward 2 months later. Halloween. Or I should say, a couple of days before Halloween. So I'm with my mom and dad over some new friends, and there's these really cool new kids. One is my age, and then there's a middle kid, a son who I looked up to, and there was a daughter, an older daughter, like 6th grade, with like long hair, really beautiful. And they had the coolest games. Now, I'm dating myself, but they had like Tippet, Operation, Battleship. Do any of you guys know these games? It's really like a time warp. But then one of the kids who was my age said, "Why don't you come over for Halloween?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll be here Halloween. Great, thanks for the invite." "Cool, man." I didn't quite say it in those terms. So then I got home, and I said, "Oh, guess what? I'm going over Halloween to so-and-so's house." My mom says, "No, you're not." Okay, I didn't realize that before making these arrangements. I had to check with my mother. But I had made this commitment. So Halloween comes, and I have this choice to make. My mother has laid down the law that I'm supposed to come home, I'm supposed to be on the school bus, but now I'm armed with the ferocious power of free will. I don't go on that school bus. Instead, I go to my friend's house. I commit another crime. That's the crime spree, the third crime now. So fortunately, the maid recognizes that someone is there who shouldn't be. But for my mother, the way she tells the story, it's absolutely harrowing. She looked in the school bus under everyone's Halloween mask, and there's no Nelson. So finally she gets this phone call, she picks me up, and this time the law was swift and stern. I didn't get away with it. Instead I got quite the whipping, if I recall. I guess what's the lesson in that? I'm not sure who we are. Are we that initial instinct to do the wrong thing? Or are we more the reflected, civilized sort that has us not committing crimes? I don't know, to be honest. I guess maybe there's no one self. Now, the title of my story, though, you might be asking, my first crime spree, are we going to hear about the second or the third? And I don't know, maybe there is no second or third crime spree, and it was just, I thought, kind of a cool title. Or maybe there is, but that will have to wait for another bit. Okay, thank you.